Huxley Girl Stitches. It's been a while. I had every intention to record this video back in like April, early May, when I got back from the Witchy Stitcher retreat. That did not happen. Life got chaotic, more on work and some other things going on, and then it never happened, so I put everything away. So you're gonna get just some picture slideshows at the very end of photos I took. There is what I got from the retreat in there, so there's the swag bags and all the kind gifts. I felt like when I was looking at the photos and looking at what I have, I feel like there is some stuff missing somewhere. I don't know if there is, if my brain just felt like I had so much stuff, and then actually looking at everything, I was like, oh no, really not. So this is going to be updates on what I've been working on, kind of updates what are going on with me, and then I'll chat about the retreat, since I've still only seen a few people have put up their videos of the retreat, so I will be doing all of that in this video. So grab some stitching, get a nice beverage. I'm drinking coffee at 10 o'clock at night in Phoenix, where it's been 105 all week. It's still 102 right now. Yes. Alright, so updates with me. Number one, my hair is cut much shorter than the last time you've seen me or any photos. I even have an undercut. I have this weird cycle where every couple of years after growing my hair long and I'm just getting tired of it, I'm like, nope, we're going to cut it short. So I was like, sure, I kind of wanted to do where like this half was fully shaven and only having this, but I wasn't liking it, and with how I have gotten my hair cut short, I got something very similar. I'm always afraid I'm going to have stuff too short, and then I will have the dreaded 2000s, let me see your man, talk to your manager haircut. People can pull that off. I don't think I can. So cut the hair. It feels so much nicer in these crazy hot temperatures. As you can see, I'm trying to tuck it behind my ear, and the hair is doing what it wants. We were hoping that having it cut short again, that I would lose some of the weight so I could get, so this is just fine. This side is not doing what it should be doing with how light it is. I have what I like to call unassuming thick hair, or call it something else, but my hair is thicker than most people realize, and I have said a million times to people, I'm like, oh, my hair is really thick. They're like, yeah, whatever, if they're like styling my hair or anything. I've done some like photo shoots back when I did pin up and rockabilly. I was like, yeah, my hair is just gonna be really thick, and they're like, oh yeah, and like, I'm sure people say that, and then it's not, and they're always like, oh, you weren't joking. I'm like, no, I'm not. So loving it, enjoying it. Work has gotten chaotic. I don't want to talk too much about where I work, but I work for an informal education nonprofit. That is where most of my background is. I think I've been here obviously before and mentioned this. I need to get out of that field. This place that I'm currently at, it's not horrible. One of my really good friends mentioned she had an opening, and I was like desperate to get out of my previous job because I was terrified I was going to go be laid off at some point. So went to do this current job. Huge cut in pay. Benefits are not the greatest either. So I'm at a point where I need to leave for various reasons. I'm also dealing with a lot of fatigued and other issues with my my chronic illness that is flaring up. And sometimes when you think about like, am I really stressed? Is there a lot going on? There is, but it's also not. But also when you have a chronic illness and stress and things like that can affect it. and can cause flare-ups, then you're like, yeah, it is causing a lot. So trying to find something, it's just really hard right now. And also I have some friends that were trying to help me out, like, oh, what would you want to do? And I go, I don't know. I've worked in this industry for 20 years, I think, at this point, and I don't know what else I want to do, really. I know I have skill sets that could be used in other places. I just don't know what the jobs are called, so it's hard to look for said job if you don't know what it is. Yeah, I still would like to be a marine biologist. Update on that, I can't afford tuition, so I'm gonna have to probably take a leave of absence because I still owe tuition and I can't afford a year tuition, even though I only have a year left. So eventually here, before the semester gets too close, I'm gonna have to take care of that, as well as email my professor and tell him I'm gonna have to take leave of absence, and I don't know with that if I'm even allowed to still be in the lab, and I also don't even know if I can even make lab meetings right now, and I think I've fallen off the radar a bit because I wasn't doing much of anything, because this newer job, I was supposed to have the ability to do stuff with the lab or go to meetings. It's not happening. That's the other thing. This job is slightly closer to where I work, or where I live, the other direction, but I'm realizing it just feels like I'm far away from everything. It's for me to get to some of my doctor appointments right after work or go to dance. It's an hour to get to those places, when those places from my house are 30 minutes-ish around there. Or there were things that were lost because when I was working in the area, 15 minutes I could be there. So that's kind of affecting me a little bit too, of the, like, there are things I would like to do, but I'm already exhausted. Even if I'm just sitting at my desk all day at work, I am exhausted mentally. I'm like, I have this weird fatigue thing where I'm mentally just spent, and some of my energy level is spent even though I sat at my desk. So on the lookout. Not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm just still looking, so I kind of accepted, but also don't want to accept the fact that I am once again giving up on something I've wanted to do since I was a little girl. So trying to get some stuff figured out, but more than likely at this point, because I can't borrow any more financial aid or anything. I've already borrowed too much. So yeah, there's that. Let's see what else. Back at burlesque, having fun. I was in our June Pride Show number, which was really great. That was a lot of fun. I don't take many photos or anything, and any photos or videos I have is of the actual stuff, and I don't share some of that because I don't want to, there's people that I dance with that keep pictures of themselves performing and whatnot out of the public eye, just because there is industries they don't want to have someone find out that they are a burlesque performer. That we're working on our August show. I will be in 2 numbers. I was already in one, and then another number with the studio had 2 openings. One, the choreographer, she's like, I can take the one spot, but I can't be in 2 places, so I agreed to take the other spot. So I'm trying to learn that number. I'm also working on my first solo. I've worked on a couple solos, but just never got very far. This one I really want to, but the crafting portion of what I need to get done is getting a little daunting, of just, ooh, some of this might not work, and I don't want to spend the money on something crazy expensive. There's a few things I'd be willing to spend the money on, depending on how much. There's some other ones that I have seen going, oh, nope, not at all. Let me get more of a drink. All of a sudden now I'm coughing. So yeah, anything else? Got a trip to Northern Arizona planned in a couple weeks. Got some concerts going to next week. Yeah, next week. Or in 2 weeks. I can't do math. Anywhere, somewhere around July 16th, I will be seeing Evanescence in Spirit Box. I am happy to be able to go see that. I have seen Evanescence one other time, and this is when like they were still very new. I only think they had the one album out, if I remember correctly. That was like summer of like, ooh, 03. Damn. So I'm gonna see them. I've never seen Spirit Box ever. I think my husband went to a concert that they were playing at, but by the time they got there, they only played like 3 songs and that was it. I'm not going to mention the band they're performing with, but this band's notorious for when they bring people with them, they only allow them to play like 15 minutes and then they're done. And they don't even have that many opening acts either. It's just like, really? Seems a little bit weird. I'm like, what's the point? If I was, even if I wasn't, if I didn't really care about the exposure around to all these people, but going around to only play 15 minutes each night, I don't know. That seems a little weird. And then I think the next band we're gonna go see is called Castle Rat. Don't think I've heard of them before, but my husband was really excited about them, and they're playing at the same theater I usually perform at, so we know what we're getting into on that. And then I think in August, is that in August? Yeah, in August, we're gonna go see In This Moment. They don't come here very often, so excited that they were coming. We got tickets. I didn't realize they're playing with Hollywood Undead, which is another band I really like, so this is probably the first time in a long time I've seen like bigger bands than I have in the past. I've been doing more smaller bands and smaller venues, so that is really exciting. And in September, figure out money, but I have tickets. I go to BlizzCon, my first time going. I love conventions and whatnot, so looking forward to that. We're also going to squeeze in some Disneyland days and Oogie Boogie nights. I've never gotten to be there during like a holiday season, so I get to go to Oogie Boogie nights, which is, I've heard really good things about. So that's kind of what's upcoming, and I got on the plans for now. I think that's everything that's going on with me. So we're gonna talk about just kind of things I'm working on, and then we'll get into the retreat recap. I'm probably going to forget some things when I recap, just cause brain fog. Sorry, anyone who's ever been around me will notice every time I say brain fog, I have to pause, because 99% of the time it comes out as brain frog. No, I can't even say it wrong. Brain frog. So I'm like, well, instead of it being fogginess, I got a frog jumping in this brain that won't let me focus, which is very fitting for the ADHD. But so I do have a finish. Who's this? I have a finish. My stitchy bug has been horrible this year. It was the realization after switching jobs that I not that I regret it, not that I really made a mistake, but I am not quite, I knew it wasn't going to be the end all of job switching, but hit me a little bit quicker of, ooh, we need to find something else. So barely. I've had it here and there, but this is for a friend who's gonna have surgery here in a couple weeks. I knew she'd have surgery. I planned to make this for her. Okay, all but 2 of the things I'm gonna show you are all by the same designer. If you can't tell, I like a certain designer. I decided to make it. I was gonna make this for her before I knew that, you know, she was gonna have to have surgery. So she's technically having brain surgery. She has something going on with some deterioration in the bone on the side of her head that they have to go in and take care of. So I was making this for her regardless. And then I had when she told me like, oh, it's probably gonna be somewhere around this time I'll have surgery. I'm like, okay, I really gotta finish this. And now it's, hey, I got a date. It's this soon. Like, okay, let's finish this. I was gonna finish it to like a banner, but I wasn't loving the idea, so I think I might just, I don't know if I have the time to do a flat fold with all the other burlesque costuming I have to do, so this might just go into a simple frame. But this is from Witchy Stitcher's book, and it's the Know Your Power. Oh, I had that folded nicely, but Know Your Power. And you'll see ES there on the bottom. That's my initials of my stage name. I put it on there because she'd be like, who's this, if I used my actual one. So I used the Call for Colors. This is not showing up great, and I don't remember. This is one of the Witchcraft Gardens fabric on the month. It's hard to see it, but it's more of like bluish, grayish, periwinkle kind of color. I could be, I want to say something that might have been something winter themed. But there is some like whitish modeling in it too, but I wanted something that wasn't just the black, because she's not really a gothy girl. But, so that's done. I just now need to frame it or do something to finish it to give it to her here soon, because I'm hoping I'll see her on Saturday. So hopefully I can get this done on Saturday, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Depends on how my week goes, if I can get something for this. But, so that's the only finish. It's been kind of the thing I've been working on the most once I finish the pumpkin party by Little Crow. But that's done. I have stuff everywhere. So what I've been working on. So this is a new start. This is a Mill Hill kit. What is this one? Painted, or wait. Glow-in Pumpkin is this one. So it's this one. I think this was actually given to me by someone at the retreat. I think it was Ashley. Ashley, if you see this, be like, yeah, it was me. I think it was one of our roommate gifts that she gave, if I remember correctly. So, working on it. I haven't done a Mill Hill kit in years. The last one was one like the frame ones, so it's bigger, was like the haunted spooky house. I struggled with that thing so badly that I ended up putting that on like a freebie table at one of the retreats I've been to recently. So that is a new start, another new start, because you guys haven't seen this. And I don't know how this is going to come up in pictures. Okay, that looks much better. Okay, this is the Little Red Riding Hood by the Witchy Stitcher, and I'm doing this on 14 count Ada in the colorway Emerald Isle by Liver Dye LA. I think it's might have been the first time I've actually stitched on her fabric. I have a couple of hers. Okay, that is coming up much better than when I've taken photos of it. So it is opalescent. So I've been using just the black. I have a whole mini cone of doom. So this is where I've gotten to. I started this beginning of June. I haven't worked on it for a couple weeks, but not bad. And then other project I've been working on that I have unearthed to work on is my Supernatural Sal. This is supposed to be for a friend. She has no idea. Most times when I make stuff for people, they don't know it's coming. So it's a friend who really loves Supernatural. The running joke is that she married Dean Winchester and her brother-in-law and is Sam. So that was been the running joke. So I'm trying to finish this up either for her birthday, which passed, or anniversary, which is next month. So I'm almost done with Striga. There is 6 more I think I need to do, plus the side and the rest of the bottom frame. So not bad. This shouldn't take me long, but I feel like just because the frames and then the pictures, I don't know. I have the same problem with cryptids. I finished that one, but I think I had the same issue where after a while, just the black framing has just kind of gotten to me. So that's that. Stuff I've purchased literally was from the retreat. So I will show that probably later. If you want to see a crude shimmy belt that I've made for one of the numbers I have joined. Sorry. Apparently when I was putting stuff together, I ended up putting it on twisted. So it's not going to look pretty, but let me hold it this way. I got glue on it. So here's the side view of a shimmy belt. It literally is just elastic and fringe. So this one's going to go around my hips, and then I have another one that goes upper torso right underneath the bust line. So look at this fringiness. So I have 2 of them. So when I mentioned that I have a lot of stuff that I have to like costuming wise, there's a couple things. We always have to rhinestone everything. For a number that I'm in for next month, we're in bathing suits, and I have had to modify a bathing suit. I am on bathing suit number 4. Got a bathing suit that should have been fine, but we weren't told that we what we call exploding panties. What it is we have panties that have they're cut on the side or like on the side seam. We put in snaps, or we use magnetic snaps, which you're probably gonna hear the crinkle from the wax paper I have, so nothing sticks. But let me see. Okay, so this one has it. So this is a snap, but it's magnetic, so the release of it is quicker. Sometimes snaps, they're on hard and you're fighting them off. This is a simple tug and it comes off, and then we are taking these ones off. So I'm put those on the bathing suit. So the first one I bought fit fine, but then I was like, oh, exploding panties, there's not enough. With some of the stuff burlesque, since it's not being made like completely made to fit burlesque, we're buying cheap clothing items and modifying them. We usually have to get them a size bigger. So I got a size bigger. The bottoms were fine. The top definitely was not the size bigger, because even me, I felt like it was tight around the chest, and I would have to modify it so I could take it off. And so it was too tight for even my current size. And I was like, ooh, that returned. I got a different one, what should have been a size fine. The top part of the bikini was huge, where they started up here. And so we started off with a towel wrapped around. I couldn't get my towel to stay. I was like, I am fighting this thing way too much. So I ended up practicing. And then I was like, I gotta get another freaking bathing suit. Then I remembered, and it's fine, that I have a bathing suit that I used for unders for the April show. It was Mario themed. I was Yoshi. So I have this really nice sparkly metallic bathing suit. It's not like dragon scales, but it looks close enough, and I was like, all right, we'll just go with that. But let me make sure I can actually, the bottoms are big enough. And I was like, yep, they're big enough. I can should be able to totally put right, she'll be able to put on some snaps and they'll come off just fine. So I just have to modify that. So rhinestoning, modifying anything, it gets tiring. I'm working on a solo, which is going to be based on Bioshock. My stage name is Ellie Splicer, named after Eleanor Lamb from the second Bioshock movie, and then Splicers from the first 2 games. So I'm doing a number inspired, and I want to do a panel skirt, and I bought some stuff. It's organza. It doesn't flow right. it's too see-through. A friend's gonna, actually the friend I made that Know Your Power stitch, she's gonna come with me on Saturday after we do yoga at the studio with one of the girls. It's a yoga teacher. It's gonna help me find fabric that works. So I'm gonna do, I need to put this in. I got a tattoo. I got a tattoo of the bunny splicer. I've been wanting that for a long time, and so I got it by my artist who's done all my tattoos. So I'll put a picture of that also in here somewhere. I totally forgot. That's new. So that is kind of what I've been working on. There's one thing I will show when I talk about it in the retreat, because did it at the retreat, and I, as usual, don't touch it for a while. Tried and tried and tried and tried. I don't know why I have this like tickle in my throat now. So the retreat. So this is the Witchy Stitcher retreat put on by Cross Stitch Society. Took place in Estes Park, Colorado. That is home to the Stanley Motel, which is the hotel that Stephen King stayed at that inspired The Shining book that they eventually got turned into a movie. Okay, the Stanley Hotel is not where they filmed the movie. It's not even where they took any videos. Nothing, not even the outside. But me being a big horror fan, I like the paranormal. I'm kind of been burnt out on the paranormal, like channels on YouTube, shows are just getting too gimmicky, where I feel like everyone's kind of just either faking a lot of stuff, or you end up trying to have to turn it down because your eardrums are being blasted by people screaming constantly. Like, I get something that's gonna scare you, but sometimes it's so much as something is, I don't know, if something actually has happened, you can't tell because everyone is responding. So I like the paranormal, I like ghost stories and haunted houses and all that stuff. It's gotten a little too, I don't want to say popular, not the right, but it's getting a lot of people who are just making it kind of not as fun to watch. And I keep getting some of those people showing up on my social media channels, or YouTube will suggest them, and I was like, no, just because I watched this one, and I only watch it just because I'm curious, it's not what I want. So when they said Estes Park, and I was like, okay, I gotta go. And it's Witchy Stitcher, and a lot of people from Witchy's Discord, because we're part of her Patreon, were going. Some I had met at the first Witchy Stitcher retreat in Anaheim. What was that, 4 years ago? I think it's 3. And so it was great. I was like, oh, I get to see some people that I haven't seen for a while. There's some people that I talk to all the time in the Discord that I have not met in person. I'll get to meet. So it was like, okay, I will have big old FOMO if I don't go. So I was able to snag a ticket, because initially it sold out. I was able to get us tickets once they opened up some more spaces. So I was able to get in. So yeah. And I wasn't sure, I was hoping I could drive, but looking at how many hours it was going to take me to drive, and I'd be by myself, I was like, oh no. So I ended up flying. And then a few people who were in the Discord were looking to share an Airbnb instead of the hotel, and I was like, absolutely. I think when I looked at the hotel and tried just to see if I could, sometimes they'll only charge you like the first night, or sometimes they don't charge you at all. No, this one wanted me to pay 100% upfront. And that was like $800. Don't have that just to like, I mean, it's nice not to worry about the hotel, but still, I was not going to do that. So I was like, oh, if I can save money. So I think roughly sharing the Airbnb with, how many were there? 6 of us? Yeah, I think there were 6 of us. I think it was like 300 and something, you know. So what would have been probably a couple nights, or sometimes I will never stay a full night. That's $300 something, but you know, it was definitely would have been like a night, like would have been, it was a fourth of the price of the hotel. So so I had that all arranged beginning of this year. I'm gonna cough again. I'm gonna see if I can edit out these coughs. We'll see. Maybe I need to do a thing where I do something where I'm like, oh, that means I need to cut this part out. So yeah, so I was excited for the retreat, but because how things were going for me mentally with work and some other stuff, I didn't even do much looking into what there was in Estes Park to do outside of the Stanley. I just had no and I was like, I could tell. I don't know if it fully was depression. I want to say it was probably something like it, because it very much was acting like you're not feeling like doing anything that normally you would do to be happy. So yeah, I don't think I looked much into it. I'm gonna say overall, the retreat was a lot of fun. I had a great time with people. Estes Park did me dirty. I did end up getting altitude sickness. I've been to Colorado before, but I was like in Durango, so not as high elevation. I also been to like places that are high elevation, so I wasn't worried about altitude sickness. Apparently I should have been. And because it was supposed to initially snow while we were there. It didn't snow. It was supposed to rain the entire time. It didn't rain. It actually was nice and comfortable. But I thought I kind of came off feeling not quite a cold, but you know, you feel a little congested and some stuffing. I thought just the elevation change, you know, the weather's cooler than what I was dealing with back here in Arizona. So, okay. But by the last full day, partway through, I was like, oh, I definitely have altitude sickness. It's not just me being a little stocked up. I definitely have altitude sickness, because what was the giveaway, and I don't remember when that was now. Might have been around the time I left the Stanley Hotel. I definitely felt like I was high, and I was not high. Ooh, definitely this is what's going on. And the other problem that they did me dirty with, the food. Food was horrible. I'm sure there's some really good food places. Everywhere we went, either it was okay, nothing special, or I just could not eat it. So unfortunately, there was a lot of not great food there. But overall, like I said, it was great. It was great getting to see people. Like Aeon and I connect online already, and then I met her at the first Witchy Stitcher retreat. We kicked it off. She was my roommate this time, and it was like we were two peas in a pot again. It was nice. Like I said, and everyone that I've interacted with, I think I've met mostly everyone on the Discord. I feel like there's one or two people that I don't know if I just didn't see you. Again, it was like 150-ish people there, so a lot of people, so it was very easy to miss. So yeah, let's see. Thursday morning, I flew out bright and early at 6. I got in like at 9 something. And I was going to take Estes Park shuttle from Denver into Estes Park. And because I wasn't sure, everyone made it seem like it would take me forever to like get from the terminal to baggage claim, get my bag. I would end up having to like take the 1 p.m. shuttle instead of the 10 o'clock. And I was like, oh, man, I don't want to. I swear it was 10 minutes. Got off the plane, found my bag really quickly in the baggage claim, and figured out where the shuttle pickup was. I was like, okay, well, and I think it was like half an hour to like 45 minutes. So I called the shuttle company and I was like, hey, so I got in and everything earlier than I thought. Can I change my reservation to the 10 o'clock instead of the 1 o'clock? I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. So everything's all the same. So just go ahead and wait in that same spot, and the driver will come grab you. I'm like, brilliant. No idea how many other people were going to be on the shuttle. No idea. I think there would have been more if I stayed at the 1 o'clock. So finally the shuttle shows up. It's me and one other girl. It would have been just this other, woman. It would have just been her if I didn't switch. So I did sit up front. Girl wasn't very chatty. I wasn't either, but it's not a long flight from Denver from Phoenix, but still, travel takes it out of you. You're also flying into, if you believe all the weird things about the Denver airport. Other than my leaving, and I'll talk about that debacle. Otherwise, I don't fully believe all the weird conspiracy theories around that airport. So I got in the shuttle, and I was having it drop me off at the hotel where the retreat was taking place, because everyone else that I was rooming with, they were doing the Celestial Seasons factory tour. So I didn't know what time they were going to get back, but also I got in earlier than I planned on it. So I made my way, the shuttle got me there. It didn't feel like, I swear it also made it seem like it was going to take a couple hours. I think it was an hour and a half max. So I don't know why everything was like, I think if it was snowing, it would take longer, but everything made it seem like things would take longer to travel. And then here's me getting in early. So I literally got in early because initially I was going to miss the welcome, and I hate missing. I'm that person. This starts at this time. These are things I gotta be there. Now, unless it's something I don't care about being at, that's fine. But I was like, no, I like to hear whatever it is. They go over stuff. I'm in the know. I need to know things. So I got there, no problem, checked in. As usual, get a very big welcome and hug from Amanda. Always great to see her and Shan. They're the two that run the retreat with help from other people, but always great when I get to chat with them. And then I was like, Shan, where do I put my luggage? Because I didn't think there was going to be space at the table, and so I just shoved it. She told me, oh, just put it there. So then I go in, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, who's here that I know from the Discord that I can figure out where we're sitting? Because we had a whole, 2 tables for everyone that was going to be at the retreat. That's not what happened. It's fine. So I was like, oh, I ran into Joshua from Cross Stitch in Cambria. I almost said something completely different. Amazing guy. Go check out his channel. His Instagram is amazing. And he's like, oh, we're over here. I think the other table's here. I'm like, great, okay. So I go and sit down at the other table. There's a couple of spots anyway. I sat with some lovely people, and I cannot remember everyone's name. I apologize. I do remember Robin and Ariel, and I can't remember the other girl that I sat next to his name. I so apologize. Anyone who's like, it's me. I'm a face person. I will remember your face the day I die. Your name, it's a 50-50. So I can't remember at all everyone's names. I apologize. But you were all very lovely to sit with. I don't have it, but I don't remember who brought it, but we had pom-poms. We had red and black pom-poms so our table could hold up and cheer every time someone got a finish, because at retreats, if you get a finish there, you ding a bell. I've seen gongs, the old-fashioned bicycle horn. So you get to ring that. So we had those to wave. I get so many gifts from people just at the table, and there was just the 3 of them, and then me. I think there might have been one other person that came around the time I did or shortly afterwards. I don't fully remember. But so unhinge all my things, and I got one of those little baskets you attach to the table that you can put your drink and some other things, so it's not taking up table space. I know other people use them at retreats. I just had a hard time figuring out where to put it, where it made sense. So I used it, and then I was like, forget this. forget this. I did bring my Lowry, the table camp one. I still need to get the corner piece for using the Nurge frames. I kind of switched to Nurge instead of the Q-snaps because I don't have an issue with the normal fastener on the Lowry. It's more meant for a scroll frame. So Nurge don't crack. I'm pretty sure I've broken many or cracked several of the snaps that I have because I'm trying to tighten it enough where it stays, so when I'm pushing the needle through, it's not like completely falling out. So I did bring that again. I've enjoyed using that. That does help a lot since I definitely have one of those, like, I look at my phone too much kind of neck things, so it helps bring it up. And I'm also just very tall, so everything is not exactly height level like I wish it would be. So I kind of got situated and I pulled out Know Your Power. I figured that's just what I'm gonna end up be working on, so I did get some work on it. Did I stitch much at the retreat? No, and I kind of knew that. I was okay with it. I knew that I was going to be meeting up with internet friends that I have met and haven't met, that I was going to get probably a decent amount of social interaction, more so than I normally get. So I was okay with that. I knew it was not going to be a thing. So I was there for a bit, stitching, and people were like, oh, I think we're going to grab lunch. Do you want to come with us? I go, you know, I probably should. Because don't think I eaten anything since this morning or the snack on the plane. So yeah, I'll come with. They're like, oh, there's a Mexican restaurant across the street. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go across the street. I grab lunch. People were very nice in that place. The food was okay. Now, I feel like I always have the presence when I'm like, oh, food was okay at a Mexican restaurant. I'm from Arizona. We have really good Mexican food places. So this was nothing. It was okay, but things weren't seasoned, I think, very well. It was just kind of type of thing. So I don't remember what I got. It might have been a burrito or something. I don't remember exactly what I got, but it was okay. And so then we paid and left and went back to the retreat. I think shortly after we got back, I think it's when all my roommates came back from the tour. So they came in and was like, where are we sitting? I was like, I don't know what happened. Most group of them are over here. I'm over here. But I think there may or may not spots. I think there's another table that had a few spots. The next, and she's like, I don't know. So I ended up not sitting. It was actually fine. I didn't really care sitting with them at all, which was a little bum. You made friends with people at your table. I have mentioned this before. I love going to CrossFit Society retreats because I always feel welcome. I am not the weird one there, which I think I've mentioned that a lot of times. I am always been like, I'll say something and I get okay, made to feel like I'm too weird. You know, no one wants to talk to me. That's not the case at these at all. And I have met various people at these retreats every time. So I always put on a great retreat. I always, again, feel very safe and welcomed. And I know that I will, at least if I don't have people that I know there, which is what happened they just had it, their Disney retreat, the one before in November. That one I didn't know anyone, or it wasn't anyone that I knew that was going that I planned to talk with. I ended up sitting next to Val from Live and Die LA, who I sat with the last retreat as well. So I've done that where I've seen people I've known, but so we stitched, and then they were like, oh, we should probably eat, and I was like, yeah, I'll come with. I figured, you know, they were people I was wanting to hang out with, so I was there earlier. It's okay, fine. I may or may not get something. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a snack or something, because I think eventually we're gonna have to do dinner. So we went. I ended up not getting anything. I might have gotten a soda. I don't remember, but and even they were like, it was okay. I was like, yeah, it's nothing crazy. So then we went back to the thing and did the retreat and stitched a bit. Oh, that's right. I was like, what did we do for dinner? We ended up going back, and I think 2 of them went to bed much earlier than some of us night owls. So we were there, and then Aeon's like, you need to eat. I go, so do you. So we ended up doing, she ended up making, I think it's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and whatnot. So kind of chatted with Nastasia and her husband a bit. And then we went to bed. And then the next morning, woke up, and Nastasia's husband made his breakfast, biscuits and gravy, because they had asked ahead of time, like, hey, wants to make breakfast for everyone. Everyone's okay with, biscuits and gravy. Go, my southern father would knock me senseless if I said I didn't like biscuits and gravy. I love biscuits and gravy. And I was like, yep, it's one of my favorites. It's not always, places do it out here, but sometimes it's not the same. So I was like, yes. And then we went to, and so then we went to, the retreat. I think they dropped off, I think Ashley went early. I think someone went early. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2 of them. But then I went because I was going to go do a class. It's the first time that they've done a retreat that I can remember where there was a class. So I did Ghost Boy Needlework was there. He and his husband are amazing. Absolutely love you guys. Was doing a peyote beading class with his, he's been caught red-handed. Now, took the class. The lighting in this room was horrible, which was causing me to have, like, the lighting wasn't bright enough. So it was causing me trouble to kind of see what's going on. If you've ever done, like, beading like this work, you got tiny needles, tiny eye holes and everything. So I was struggling. So I didn't finish it. I still haven't finished it because I will had to restart it a couple times because the thread we're using is just gotten bad. So I might switch it up. So I think I've only gotten like 6 rows done on this like 3rd attempt. I've done it a little bit again because there's some areas, and so I might just take instead of restarting over, I might take whatever I have to a point where I can just weave it in and get rid of that thread and use a brand new one. So we'll see. So did the class. It was a lot of fun. I am excited. Like, that's why I'm like, yes, I wanted to sign up for this class. So I did this with Karen, which is one of our other housemates. Did that this morning, and then we did some stitching, some chatting around with people. Bunch of people were going to go to Stanley that night, and I looked into to do it and go with people. It was all like sold out, so I did not go that night. But I was like, that is like the bucket list thing to do here. So instead, I know at one point we left and we got lunch at a brewery. I think I got whatever I got was from Red Rum Ale. It was good. Food wasn't bad. I'm trying to remember what I got. It might have been a Reuben. It was whatever. It was fine, but there was something about it I can't remember now. I've kind of forgotten about the food. The worst one is coming up here soon. And then afterwards we kind of walked around some of the shops in like the downtown little area. Joshua was on a mission to find gifts for his daughters. So we kind of split up and looked at some different things. I think go back to do some more stitching or not stitching. And then I'm trying to remember what we did. My days are splitting around. There was another day we did a lunch that was horrible and a dinner that was horrible. I think that was Saturday. That might have been Saturday. Okay. I don't remember what we did for dinner though. Oh, I think Friday is when in the evening we left to go to Denver because Karen was doing a floral arrangement class with the oddity shop in Denver. So she went to that. We all kind of went and we were just looking for somewhere to hang. Got the hipster Denver bar scene experience without planning on it. So we're trying to find somewhere that had parking that we could just kind of chill out for a bit. And so we found a place. The bar is called Semi Precious. That tells you nothing about the place. And so we sat there. We just found a place, sat down. Sorry, I gotta charge this phone. And we walk in, we get greeted, sit down wherever you want. We got some waters, and so we're looking through the menu, and I at first was like, are these all joke names of these drinks, or is this really what the drinks are? And then I started reading the descriptions. I'm like, nope, this is totally what they are. Okay. And the other ones, so I could tell, I'm like, anyone find anything that looks good? And they're like, I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm so confused. What was it? Green onion and chives was a drink. Radish butter and so, like, nothing made sense. And I was just like, ugh. Like, if you wanted something normal, you just ordered like whatever your standard beer and whatnot and wine. But the cocktails, I was like, what is going on? Who wants a drink with these flavors? So we're like, oh, we should leave. And I go back, nope. I was like, we're not, nope. So I'm like, don't watch me. And I just got out. I'm not a person that usually can be ballsy, but I was like, no. And the other two, or I think the others were like, nope, we're going. So we went. This is gonna be long. I'm not gonna edit out that much either. And so we got in the car, and as we were driving, I'm like, there was a dive bar right next to where we dropped Karen off. We're gonna probably have the park on the street, but let's do that instead. So as we're leaving, I pull up the name. I'm like, let me look at what kind of bar this was, because this confused me. We also had I'm a mother. I get sometimes you have to bring your kid with you to do things, but this was a cocktail bar, and there was a young kid there. I'm confused. It wasn't like a bar and grill. It was a cocktail bar. I'm looking up, and it's like unpretentious, and I was like, no, this is a very pretentious place. Man, if anyone sees it from that place, like, what? I go, not my thing. And there's some kind of, I couldn't remember the name of the movement, but it was some kind of European thing. But just, I was like, okay. Oh, I think if we read this, we would have not stopped. So I went to the dive bar. I forgot to look this up, but I'm pretty sure that alcohol must taste different up in higher elevation, because we went to the dive bar, we got some appetizers, and I got a mule, but I got it with supposed to have Jameson, because I'm a whiskey girl. Give me some Irish whiskey any day. And I was like, I took a sip when we got my drink, and I was like, I do not taste the Jameson. I don't even taste whiskey. I don't even taste. They're like, really good. Yeah, I said, I'm confused, because like I don't like if anything that's gonna have too much of a kick of whiskey, not my thing, but you get a little bit of a hit of that whiskey flavor and that thing, and I was like, I taste nothing. If there's alcohol in this, what do they do to it? Because I can't taste it. So again, another thing where the stuff kind of did me dirty. I think that one is the elevation though. The drink was good. I just was like, I want some Jameson. And then Karen got done earlier, and then she ended up She's like, I'm so sorry. You guys had not great experience with places. Well, I'll take care of the bill. I think after that, did I might have got a PBR or something afterwards, which tasted normal. And then I think we went back to the room. We might have done some stitching and then ended up heading back to the Airbnb. Don't remember what we did for dinner. The next day, we got up, had, I think, a quick breakfast, went back to the stitching room. I did get booked to do the Stanley Hotel in the afternoon, and I did the Shining tour. Again, I love haunted house shit. I love paranormal. I know the stories of that hotel really well, and sometimes those ghost tours have been very cheesy, and I am let down. Not that I don't have experience, but I just feel like it's in to be cheesy and get a buck out of you. I felt like that's how the Queen Mary tour that I did. We did the ghost tour, and that's how I felt with that one. The only place I even had an experience was not even a room part of the tour. I've done some of the like tombstone ghost walks. I did one in Atlanta that also felt very gimmicky. It was really weird where they were taking us. I was like, there's got to be more places that are haunted. And some of the places they were taking us were in very sketchy areas on that one. So not that I wouldn't want to do it. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to get myself into. So I did the Shining one. I said, I obviously know the movie, but there's probably some more information about the book and other things that are not normal, which I did learn some new things. I can't tell you, I don't remember what they are. There was a bunch of cheesy like props, like you could take a photo op if you you're going through the door in that scene. You also could have taken a picture of you in the bathtub from the bathtub scene. So I did that. I know that was the afternoon, but did some stitching. I think there was some games, something. Went to lunch at a sandwich place that hopefully that was better. I just wasn't feeling any of the food, and I don't remember what I got. Whatever I got, it was okay. I couldn't eat all of it, and I just man, you just happen to I go, I don't even know why. Nothing is it's not like it's I'm somewhere where the food is not food I'm used to. It was what was it? Mediterranean or Greek kind of sandwich place. It just wasn't great. My stomach also, I think, that had been off as well. So not having great food choices was not helping. So then after that, I'm going to talk about, I forgot all about the chocolate store. I forget sometimes that I am too aware of my surroundings and how people are behaving, that not everyone else is knowing it. So in the same complex, there's a chocolate store, and it's the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, and I'm like, guys, this is a chain. Maybe this is more of a West Coast thing, because I think we might have one or two in Arizona. I don't know. I know I've seen them in Vegas, in places. No, we do have them in Arizona. We go to it when we're in Sedona. So it's a chain that we have out, at least in the western region of the U.S. So I was like, guys can check it out. It's fine. Nothing crazy. It's nothing special to here in Estes Park, unfortunately. So we walked in there. And so I think we'll tell you what we were wearing later. So we walk in there, just looking, ask questions. The woman, I'm pretty sure she had old country playing, but old religious country music playing. We walked in. But she looked like she could care less. And I get it, not everyone loves their job, but it just felt like okay. There's nothing here I really want. I've had their stuff before. It's not bad. But I'm assuming it's probably overpriced, and it was. So I was like, no. So I was just there with Aeon and Karen, and I think both of them got stuff, and the woman was very rude to them. I was like, man, and we walked out, and I was like, well, probably because we look like the troublemaker children coming into this wholesome candy shop. And she's like, what do you mean? I go, I look like a lesbian right now. And they go, what? I go, I have this flannel on. I had my 310 Kona Doom shirt on. I had jeans, and I had my combat boots on. I was like, so I have a look that I'm not really purposely portraying. It's just what I'm wearing. I'm comfortable. Aeon's very much got your like casual goth vibe down. And Karen has colored hair, and I don't remember what she was wearing. I don't remember what she was wearing. So we definitely come off as the alternative chicks. So, and I go, probably, she also probably thought maybe we were in some kind of relationship together. And so, I don't remember which one said it. But I was like, did we just get hate crimed in there? And I was like, possibly. And then we were like, oh, should we tell? Because we ran into, I'm forgetting the guy who owns Ghost Boy Needlework. I'm so sorry. I know it starts with an R. Raymond, I believe. Do we need to tell him and his husband to be careful because they talked about going there? I was like, I don't know how we would if we could. Because I don't know where they went. So, yeah, so we get back. I have a little bit of time before I have to go to the Stanley Hotel, and Karen was going to give me a ride in the rental. And so we were there and just like, okay, whatever. And then at one point, Raymond and his husband came back, and she's like, oh, did you guys go to the chocolate factory? Was she rude to you? And he was like, yeah, kind of. And she's like, I think we got, and she told them the little story, and he's like, and then in came the gays. And we're like, yeah. So, I know I had some stitching before it was time for me to go. So I went, and I don't remember if I did it as I was walking up from the car up, or if I did it before I left. Sometimes when I know I'm going to a place that does have a history of being haunted, and I'm kind of a woo-woo girl. You can't see some of it, but there's a bunch of crystals, and there's a Hecate statue back there. So I got a little bit of woo-woo in me. So I sometimes will be like, all right, if anyone's with me, wants to just help me out, keep the good energy in, don't let any negative attach to me or follow me. I even say to the place, like, I know you have a history of being haunted and whatnot. You are fine. You can interact with me. I just ask that you are not negative and you're not going to hurt me or anyone around me. I kind of do this anytime I feel like I'm at a place that has some kind of energy. I didn't feel anything really at the Stanley. Not to say it's not, but sometimes I just don't. And it just depends on kind of, I think, what's happening in general place. It did seem very busy, and I don't know if there were a lot of hotel guests or just a lot of people visiting the place. But I did that, and so made my way in. I was like, we're going to save the gift shop for later. I have opinions about that, but I can see why they might not have what I felt they could have been getting a lot more people buying stuff in there. So time for the tour guide. He was amazing. I don't remember his name, but he was great. Very, very fun. I think one of the pictures you'll see, he's in mid talking, making a weird gesture and face, because I caught the picture right when we're in where the bathroom from the movie gives a history, and he's like, okay, we got to, because I think this happens all the time. This is not where the Shining movie was filmed at all. This is literally the place where Stephen King stayed and inspired the book that movie got made into, but Kubrick did his own thing. Or Stephen King hated the movie. It's Stanley Kubrick. He was a character. So the tour was really good. It's cool to see things. This last portion they took us to boggles my mind of why they did this and why they haven't done something more with it. It just seems a whole lot of waste of money. I don't remember how much the ticket was for the tour, but definitely not enough to cover what they did. So the last place is the carriage house. Now, why I thought it was more spread out, but it's not as spread out as I thought. And I'm not saying that like confusing it with the Overlook Hotel and whatever hotel they filmed it at. No, I swear I remember watching like the ghost hunting shows go to Stanley, and things were spread out more. But the carriage house was right next door. They've redone some rooms upstairs. And so we went upstairs. There's one room that's just the Shining room. You'll see some photos of it. That's the one that you'll see a case with an axe. That is the foam axe that was used on camera when he's going through the hedge mage. That bathroom was built, I think, by the people who built the bathroom for the actual movie. They recreated the bathroom in this room. You can even take your photo in it. It has running plumbing. So he's like, when you go in there and take your photo, please do not touch the nozzles. You will flood this place with water coming out. It's happened before. And then we went to 3 rooms. I don't remember the other room now. But the last room we saw was built of what they thought the twins' room would look like. Really cool. Had another standee where you can put your head and pretend you're one of the twins. Now, what confuses me about this is those rooms, no one ever stays in them. They're not rented. It's not like an Airbnb thing. You can't even pay lots of money to stay in them as your stay instead of a normal hotel room in the Stanley. They only show it to people on the Shining tour. I don't remember, but recreate the bath. Was it the bathtub or the bathroom? I think it might have been the bathtub. Was like tens of thousands of dollars with working plumbing that no one's using. They're just showing it on these tours. There might be a reason why they don't want people in there, because I think we were in there and there was a staff meeting happening, so it's like, okay, cool, but this seems like a waste of money. It was really nice to see it. It took a thing off my bucket list. I do understand that I could have probably pretended I was a hotel guest and went up on the floor, but I didn't. I was, this is when I was really starting to feel like the altitude sickness. So even and I have chronic fatigue. My fatigue was just getting to me, so I was like, no. So I went and looked at the gift shop. There wasn't much. There was a few things for the hotel itself, for the Stanley. There was hardly anything Shining, and I don't know if they just don't want to pay the money to buy like the licensed product stuff. They could have. There was a few things, but nothing crazy. And I was like, those people are staying here either A, because it's haunted, or because they're a fan of The Shining. They did have a little cafe downstairs with some stuff, and that was like nothing that really like jumped out at me. So I was like, all right. So I texted Karen. I was like, all right, I'm good to go. So I walked upstairs, took a couple photos, and met up with her, and then we went back to the stitching room for a bit, and then a bunch of people were going to go do karaoke. So I thought maybe we'll see how I feel, but like I said, it was really hitting me hard with the altitude sickness. I wasn't sure. We had left to go back to the Airbnb and just kind of freshen up and whatnot, and then we were going to do dinner in the little downtown area. I don't remember the name of the restaurant. this was some of the worst food I have ever had anywhere. So we got sat in an area, like the main dining room area, but like we were the only ones in there. I don't know if people were in the other parts of the restaurant, but so we ordered food, and I don't remember what I got. Oh, I do. I got potato skins. Again, I wasn't having much luck with food. I also wasn't feeling 100%, so I was like, all right, some potato skins. I'm pretty sure, I was like, I ate it, and I go, if Gordon Ramsay was here, he would be doing the whole, shut it down immediately. This food had to have been old. I'm pretty sure my potato skins were from a day before, because they were definitely way overcooked and hard. There's barely any potato to them. I get the potato skins, but could barely eat them. I was afraid it would break my tooth. Everyone else had not great food. I think the chili was okay. We were like, this is horrible. No. So I said, I'll pay for cancel everything else. And I think I was like, no. I am usually not one to be rude at a restaurant, but I was like, no. He didn't seem to care. It took us forever for him to come and even whatnot. And we felt like half the time they forgot us. And then we were like, oh, do we just, just ditch, just run out on our check? Because it was that bad. The service was horrible. The reviews were kind of hard to tell. Like, some were like amazed by it, others were also complaining about similar things, but food was horrible. And again, Aeon's like, I feel so bad. You have had horrible luck with food. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why. I'm sure there's great food here. Just haven't had it. So we one back after we ate to go back to the Airbnb. Ashley and Karen did not want to go to karaoke. I was still like on the fence. Like, I wanted to like see everyone for one last time because everyone was leaving the next day. So we I did end up going. Again, I think I got like a whiskey and Coke. Again, didn't taste the whiskey. So confused. Nastasia and her husband sang karaoke. I think Aeon did. I don't go to karaoke bars often. Also, with how I was feeling, there was no way I was gonna, and I could barely breathe. I was not going to sing. This place was an Irish pub. I'm very judgmental as someone that Irish pubs are my jam. I love a good Irish pub. This is like, oh, we're gonna give it an Irish name and say it's an Irish like bar, but there's nothing at all that goes along with that theme. We have some here where I'm like, oh, go here. It's like, no. We're gonna go to this one instead. We're gonna go to this one. So, but it was fun. And then went to bed. I ended up, was that the night? One of the nights I ended up waking up a couple times and ended up just like standing underneath the hot shower just to like be able to breathe so I could sleep. But yeah, the next day we packed up, made sure everything was good. Sasha and her husband drove from California, so they were driving, and then the rest of us all flew, so we were going to the airport. I think two of them were on one terminal. Me and Karen were at the other one? No, all of them were at a different terminal than I was, but she had to return the vehicle. So we went to go return the vehicle. We felt like we were driving all over the place trying to figure out where this rental place was. Finally found it, and I was like, man, okay, maybe I do not believe the conspiracy theories about this airport. Finally found the place. We got on, and so we just took the shuttle bus back to the airport, and so we could get off on our terminals. Mine was first, so I got off. Or did I get off second? No, I think Karen got off first, and then I got off second. I get up, left, and start walking like, where? I need to check my bag. Where is where is that? We had to go into the elevator and up a floor. So I was constantly getting lost in the damn airport. And I've been to Denver Airport before. Granted, not coming from Denver. I've used it as a connecting flight location. But I was like, what? So finally got everything through. Made my way to my gate. Waited, boarded, and yeah, came back home. So that was longer. I should have known. I cannot tell a quick story. But yeah, it was a great trip. I had so much fun. I'm so glad I got to go and I got to meet everyone I got to meet. Again, I don't remember names. Remember all your faces. So after this, you will see a little slideshow of pictures I took of the retreat. Very little of me actually stitching, mostly just the cool things we saw and did. So enjoy that, and until next time.